Sunday edition live from our Pocatil studios in Highlands, Harare. Thank you for giving us your time. I am Yvonne Mukondani. Piswe Monica gives us the bulletin in sign language.
And I'm Natasha Bennett. Sibukele will join us later on from our Montreux studios. These are the stories that made the headlines.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa says the removal of illegal sanctions will accelerate development across the country.
And in our This and That feature, we take a look at Indians' beliefs and values.
In our Science and Technology feature, Harare Institute of Technology's Enterprise Resource Planning System redefines business efficiency.
And in sport, Dynamo's progress to Chibuku Super Cup final after beating Highlanders a 5-3 in a penalty shootout.
Those are the headlines. Now for the news in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa says the unconditional removal of illegal sanctions will accelerate development across the country, noting measures adopted by other nations to repeal sanctions as steps in the right direction. The details.
Economic sanctions imposed on the country by the United States and its Western allies continue to slow progress across the country, and SADC member states and other progressive nations continue calling for their unconditional removal. The United States has already figured that sanctions are not achieving their intended results, hence steps are in motion to repeal ZEDERA. President Mnangagwa said total removal of the illegal embargo will accelerate development across the country.
Our country welcomes steps taken by some Western countries to repeal the sanctions regime as constructive steps in the right direction. We, however, reaffirm our position in the call for total and unconditional lifting of the unjustified unilateral sanctions imposed on us. It is through the removal of the entire sanctions regime that a conducive environment can be created for accelerated development and prosperity for the people of our motherland, Zimbabwe. As one united, peace-loving, and a unitary nation, we stand proud of the sacrifices we have made over the years to empower our people, modernize, industrialize, and grow our economy under very, very difficult circumstances. Congratulations to us all. Much more work lies ahead of us. We look forward with optimism and great confidence. The past years of our country under the albatross of sanctions must serve as a reminder of our capabilities and strength.
With unity and determination among Zimbabweans, President Mnangagwa believes more progress has been registered as part of sanctions-busting measures.
We are facing head-on challenges and shocks, such as these illegal heinous sanctions, climate change-induced droughts, and other public health emergencies. Us, the Zimbabwean people, are masters of our own destiny. The flame of our independence, freedom, and sovereignty burns brighter. The great walls of our nation, our house of stone, remain strong and they will never be breached. Over the years, we have made tremendous progress in our efforts to promote a self-sufficient and food-secure nation. Comprehensive people-centered programs and projects have been put in place to enhance our agricultural productivity.
This year's SADC Anti-Sanctions Day ran under the theme Inclusive Development through Heritage-Based Innovation and Industrialization in a Multilateral World.
My government recognizes the potential of heritage-based innovation and production as a catalyst for value addition, beneficiation, and inclusive economic growth. We are thus implementing targeted initiatives to empower communities so that they leverage and they tap into their respective comparative advantages to meet global demand for the unique and authentic Zimbabwean products. In this regard, marketing authorities have scaled up the promotion of export goods, services, and minerals, among others. These are rooted in our cultural identity and indigenous knowledge systems, including traditional foods, arts, crafts, and culture.
Progressive organizations and political parties continue to call for the unconditional removal of illegal economic sanctions, with several messages printed on banners to show their displeasure with the US and its Western allies' stance on Zimbabwe. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Small and medium enterprises are emerging as an engine for socio-economic development as Zimbabwe continues to defy illegal economic sanctions imposed on the country by the West.
Local businesses, including small and medium enterprises, SMEs, are demonstrating remarkable resilience and innovation despite the existence of illegal economic sanctions imposed by Western nations. The defiance was displayed through the diversity of exhibitions showcased at the SADC Anti-Sanctions Day held in Harare.
We are exhibiting value addition in machinery and products that are manufactured here in Zimbabwe. As we showcase what we can produce as a nation, we are saying, despite the sanction, we can produce every product locally. We want every SME to enter into value addition and start producing from Zimbabwe, whereby we can export and manage to stabilize our economy. There is nothing that sanction can stop us from doing if we Zimbabweans stand together and decide to fight against sanction through producing as SMEs.
Kugadzira ma-farm implements kumbare kumagaba pamunzi vavanzi kumagaba kunenge kunoshoreka but kuri kubuda zvinhu zvakakosha zvokuti tinokwanisa kuita bust even ma-sanctions.
Ma-SMEs ari kuita contribution yakanyanya nekuti tiri kuona ma-machinery akugadzirwa muno muZimbabwe anga achiimportwa kubva kune dzimwe nyika akutogadzirwa muno muZimbabwe. Zvinhu zvinodadisa nekuti tiri kuona zvinhu zviri kuwandudzwa nema-SMEs edu ari muno muZimbabwe.
Players in other sectors such as construction are also defying odds in the adversity of sanctions.
Sanctions or no sanctions, economy is growing. No matter the sanctions are there, we are continue pushing. In construction, we are busy building the houses. With that small amount, in security, we are pushing the business with that small amount.
The performance of the sectors provides tangible evidence of self-reliance and the capability of producing quality goods and services locally. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, says Zimbabwe is on a massive developmental trajectory under the leadership of President Emmerson Mnangagwa despite the illegal sanctions. He was speaking at the Anti-Sanctions Day commemorations held in Harare this Saturday.
A president who has achieved more in a short space of time. A president who has revived the agricultural sector from a production of 94,000 metric tons of wheat to more than 600,000 metric tons of wheat. A president who has built bridges between industry, between experts and the people. A president who has brought the Pfumvudza Intwasa climate-proof agriculture, revived and established the Agriculture Information Management System. A president, through the re-engagement and engagement strategy and the creation of a macroeconomic stable environment which calls for business to invest in Zimbabwe, who has ensured that the Manize Integrated Steelworks now produces 600,000 metric tons of steel, thereby utilizing the limestone which is best in Redcliffe and the metallurgical coke from Wange and the iron ore resources from the Manize ranges. This is a president who has revised foreign direct investment in terms of improvement, thereby ensuring that billions of dollars both in domestic investment and foreign direct investment contribute to macroeconomic development. Forbes magazine has designated Zimbabwe in terms of tourism as the #1 tourism destination country as a must visit.
Government has commended the significant role played by churches in infrastructure development apart from their mandate of providing religious guidance to the people.
The Catholic-run St. Luke's Hospital in Lupane, district of Matabele North Province, celebrated its 75th Jubilee this Saturday as it forges ahead in embracing national development.
We are one people, one nation. We all belong to each other, we need each other, and when we work together with one mind and heart, there will be always blessings of God, and development is very, very easy.
The celebrations saw Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga highlighting the importance of government partnerships with faith-based organizations.
Today we gather not only to reflect on a distinguished past, but also to embrace the promise of a future where every Zimbabwean has access to quality and dignified health care. On behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the government and the entire nation, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to St. Luke's Mission and St. Luke's Mission Hospital for reaching this extraordinary milestone. This hospital means a lot, not only to Matabele North, but the entire nation. This institution remains a cornerstone of health care delivery in Matabele North Province. Today, as we mark this jubilee, we also celebrate renewal with the commissioning of a new operating theater, a modern outpatient department. Government recognizes the Catholic Church as a strategic development partner, not only in health, but in education, social protection, poverty alleviation, and nation building. Faith-based institutions are invited to actively participate in national development programs.
The Second Republic continues to strengthen relations between government and the church to promote peace and national development. Aiferi Mudau, ZBC News, Lupane.
In agricultural news, the country has harvested more than 500,000 tons of wheat so far, with prospects high that the 600,000 target for this season will be met.
With the skies now showing signs that the rain can start anytime soon, farmers, as you can see, are racing against time to ensure that they clear their cereal crop before the onset of the rains.
Wheat iri kuharvestwa ende combine iripo yasvika nenguva, mota yedu yasvika nenguva.
We want to thank our government iri kutiitira zvakanaka, iri kutibatsira nema-inputs, fertilizer nembeu.
The Agricultural Rural Development Authority, ADA, is upbeat that the contracted farmers can hit the 300,000 metric tons of the cereal crop the parastatal is mandated to produce towards the National Strategic Grain Reserves.
As ADA, we have so far harvested 44,358 hectares across the country. We have deployed combine harvesters to all of the farmers in all the growing districts so that we can mop up all of the remainder of the wheat.
Government expressed gratitude to farmers for achieving the set targets of wheat in 2 consecutive years.
The volume of wheat harvested was 518,659 metric tons, which represents an average yield of 5.4 metric tons per hectare. It means that the balance of 27,006 hectares is what is left, and I urge farmers to quicken harvesting so that we can complete this by the end of October and latest the first week of November, and so that these showers that we are receiving do not spoil the wheat.
The country's wheat success story can be attributed to the coming on board of the Zimbabwe-Belarus Mechanization Program, which sourced adequate combine harvesters to assist farmers to clear their wheat before the onset of the rains. 10 Dai Munengwa, ZBC News in Norton.
And still in the agricultural sector, the government has assured farmers of timely distribution of inputs ahead of the 2025-2026 summer cropping season.
As the rain season approaches, with forecasts predicting normal to above normal rainfall for the 2025-2026 summer cropping season, communal farmers have been urged to prepare for another promising harvest. Officially opening the 85th Zimbabwe Farmers Union annual congress in Masvingo, the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Dr. Anxious Masuka, pledged government support to farmers.
Inputs under the presidential input scheme have been mobilized in terms of fertilizers, chemicals and seed. And we have begun to distribute to GMB depots starting next week. These inputs will be going to the wards. Farmers should not pay because the president is paid up to ward level and will use the usual structures to distribute that seed in a transparent manner. That seed must reach everyone. The forecast for this year is normal to above normal rains starting in November. For now, we must continue to do land preparation.
The government is also capacitating smallholder farmers.
Takatarisa muono wa His Excellency we National Vision 2030 kuti chikamu che value addition ndio chinofanira kunge chichikurudzirwa kunyaya dzeagriculture. Ndo donzo guru ratakatarisira seMasvingo province kuti ricontribute zvakasimba mutarget yedu 8 billion economy by 2030.
Smallholder farmers expressed their appreciation of the government support.
We need in this conference to come up with pathways that restore farmer viability, and this is what the minister was speaking to. 85% of ZFU membership comprises of those that are coming from the smallholder sector. They have already prepared their land. Those that are doing Pfumvudza, they have done their potholes. Those that are supposed to be contracted, they have already started engaging their contractors.
The ZFU Congress created a platform for dialogue between government and farmers under its theme, Pathways to Farmer Dignity. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation will this week host the Southern Africa Broadcasters Association Convention in Victoria Falls, with preparations for the Indaba in full swing.
The 2025 edition of the Broadcasters Convention, being hosted by the ZBC in conjunction with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, will deliberate on issues of growth of the broadcasting space within the region under the theme Content, Connectivity, Collaboration, Transforming Africa's Broadcast Media Landscape in the AI era. Speaking with ZBC News upon arrival in Victoria Falls this Sunday, SABA President Mr. Stanley Similo, who is also the Director General of the Namibia Broadcasting Corporation, said the convention will track regional progress in charting a new way forward.
As you will know, for many years we were struggling just even to share stories amongst ourselves within the region. Since we started this process from 2018, we are now able to have stories coming straight from all of us for television. They get sent to Namibia, get curated, and then they go back in the form of a bulletin called Iron SADC. And it's been working well since 2018. And then for radio, we have a similar program for Radio Current Affairs called SADC 360, and that one is running from Maseru in Lesotho. We do exactly the same. And where we are now, the trajectory is to bring out a Southern African channel that will be managed 100% by the group called SABA.
Zimbabwe's hosting of this year's Indaba comes just after the SADC Executive Secretary, His Excellency Elias Makhosi, endorsed the work being done by SABA while calling for the establishment of a regional television.
As you will recall, just early in the week, we were in Gaborone, Botswana, where we met with His Excellency Mr. Makosi, where we were explaining the aspects of Sabah and then also sharing with him the dreams and the challenges and the successes of Sabah within the region. On that score, we are very happy because he has committed that he will work with us very close so that we can bring in realization in terms of the dreams that we are having as an association.
Over 20 countries are expected to converge in Victoria Falls, along with participation from international partners. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
We now cross over to our Montrose studio where Sibu Kele is on standby with more news from that end. Good evening, Sibu. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Good evening, Zimbabwe. We now carry on with the news. The landmark Kwangu Ngagwami residential title deeds program has been rolled out in Cowdrey Park, suburb of Bulawayo, providing residents with security for their housing and property investments. Let's get the details.
For thousands of residents, the offer letters signal an end of fears of uncertainty and a new chapter of empowerment and security.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngoba lami sengikwazi ukuhamba lapha ngizwakale ngifike lasemabhenki lami ngizwakale sengikhuluma ngibe lesisindo
fara ukuthi ndaweni tsamba ino ndiwani thatho didzi yangu kuti ndiwo muridzi wemba iyoyo kuti ndawe chibaba chemba iyoyo inini saka I want to tender.
Today means open doors for me. Senza ngena indaweni lapha kungangeneki khona. Sengizakwanisa lami ukuthi ngiyothatha mboleka izimali. Ngihamba ngisebenzisa ama title deeds.
The Presidential Title Deeds Program, launched in 2023, is expected to curb property fraud and usher in a new era of infrastructure development linked to secure ownership of homes in a settlement currently housing over 75,000 residents.
The activation and rollout of the Presidential Title Deed Program is national strategy for unlocking economic potential and fostering social stability.
Kwangu Ngagwami Presidential Title Deeds Program has the financial backing to fix roads, to fix sewer and water infrastructure in this area. We call on the residents of the area to embrace the program.
Unveiling the program this Saturday, the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli Ncube, linked the Kwangu Ngagwami initiative to the National Economic Empowerment Agenda.
Cowdrey Park was deliberately identified and selected for this program, which is set to benefit 15,000 beneficiaries in total. It is my strong conviction that there is dire need for some bridging finance. And the Kwangu Ngagwami Presidential Title Deed Program has come in to bridge the gap through the mobilization of requisite resources through the public-private partnerships with the private sector.
The successful implementation of the initial phase in Cowdrey Park serves as a powerful testament to government's inclusive development agenda. Hiland Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Well, it's lovely to see residents obtaining title for their properties, and just the smiles on their faces are heartwarming. Zimbabwe is targeting global markets for goat exports driven by private sector and government's interventions in capacitating livestock value chains.
The shift from subsistence farming to commercial enterprise dominated discussions at the National Goat Indaba, which concluded in Bulawayo this Sunday, positioning the sector as a critical pillar for drought resilience and wealth creation. For many subsistence and small-scale goat breeders, the Indaba was a platform for knowledge exchange and showcasing improved breeding stock, with discussions centered on genetics, disease control and market access.
People are seeing the value of small stock with regards to reproduction. They produce faster than cattle do.
We've been seeing a drive or the surge of goat production and commercialization because of the climate change.
Goats are very smart, so it has been found that with the climate change that is happening nowadays, it is good to farm with goats.
So GBAZ, i-Goat Breeders Association of Zimbabwe, siyagqugquzela abalimi ukuthi abaphakamele phezulu bafuye imbuzi.
We're moving from small scale holders to be commercial farmers. Inyama opportunities avanoona mu commercial industry.
With regional demand for goat meat and byproducts on the rise, experts say Zimbabwe has the potential to close the supply gap.
In South Africa, there's a lot of good genetics, but we're facing problems with foot and mouth disease. And I think if Zimbabwe can position themselves with good quality animals, there's definitely a gap in the market where they can help to export to other nations and help to fill the void which we are experiencing due to short of stock.
Zimbabwe's goat population is estimated to be over 4 million, yet less than 10% of production currently enters formal markets, with stakeholders focusing on scaling up commercial breeding, unlock new export revenue streams, complementing government's drive towards raw industrialization.
There's an unending market or an insatiable market in the Middle East. Over and above our blueberries, the next thing they ask about is goat meat. Can you guys supply us goat meat? There's that notion that our meat, I think it's from back in the days, CSC, is good quality, it's organic, it's healthy, it doesn't have GMO elements, so we're already riding on that. That's a good thing.
The 2025 Goat Indaba concluded with the call to action for the private sector and government to invest in market infrastructure, including modern, regulated abattoirs capable of handling the anticipated increase in commercial volumes. Hiland Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
A Mutoko-based entrepreneur has transformed his rural home into a thriving agro-tourism project under government's rural industrialization program.
We lead and others follow. That's the message from Mutoko district as it continues to offer new infrastructure with the newly established Gori Resort increasing room capacity, offering 25 rooms, conference facilities and leisure activities.
Mutoko though is the new industry. Wasatu waenda kulana Dubai. Yes, mchaenda, don't worry. But this is going to be the new address. The standards that we are setting here are the Dubai of Mutoko.
Tiri kushanda nevana vemunomu vari kuuya vachiinvesta munzvimbo yavo, vari kuinvesta mune zvinhu zvakawanda, asi vari kusimba stereki munyaya dzetourism and hospitality.
Madevelopment akadai anotinakidza isu maMutoko nekuti one inopa Mutoko yedu kuti iwe chiratidzikawo kuti ine very good infrastructure and zvakare wana wese wanosenza pagore awa wana vemaMutoko.
Mutoko has become the epicenter of our tourism and hospitality industry. The capital for tourism and hospitality in Mashonaland East Province is without any shadow of doubt Mutoko.
Tourism is more than a leisure activity, but a strategic pillar for inclusive socio-economic development. The establishment of Pagori Resort represents more than opening of a hospitality facility. It symbolizes devolution in action, where provincial economies are being empowered to unlock their unique natural, cultural, and entrepreneurial assets.
The opening of the Gori Resort comes at a time Zimbabwe was named as the world's best destination to visit in 2025 by Forbes magazine. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Mutoko.
Zimbabwe has officially signed the United Nations Convention Against Cybercrime, joining over 60 other countries in committing to a unified global framework to combat cyber threats.
The high-level signing ceremony attended by the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres marks a milestone in strengthening international cooperation against online criminal activity while safeguarding human rights and state sovereignty. The Zimbabwean delegation led by the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, participated in the conference and signing ceremony.
We really want to thank the guidance that is Zimbabwe, we need to also to have information exchange on cross-border crimes and see how we can be able to benefit from that. And it's also good for us to look at ways that we can, for us to ensure in the same space. It's good for us to also learn best practices of capacity building, work for what other countries have done, and see how we can be able to collaborate.
The convention, adopted by the UN General Assembly in December 2024, establishes mechanisms for mutual legal assistance, cross-border sharing of electronic evidence, and capacity building support for developing nations.
There's a lot of scope of doing business in Vietnam, and we will endeavor to pursue to see what we can actually get from both sides to make it a win-win situation for both the Vietnamese people and the Zimbabwean people. Particularly, we are focusing on manufacturing, agriculture, and mining, where we've already started engaging with various companies, and we are hoping that we conclude something great.
Signing the instrument paves way for Zimbabwe to access technical assistance training in digital forensics and support in aligning its domestic cybercrime legislation with international standards.
In the next 3 months to 9 months, we are going to have a roadmap for the implementation and the ratification process of the convention, so that we will be cooperating and collaborating with like-minded countries in combating cybercrimes through the commission, through use of information technologies. So Zimbabwe is now part of that, and we can mobilize the resources in establishing the forensic lab that we want to establish in Zimbabwe for sharing evidence that is that can be used in the court of law in any country across the globe.
Zimbabwe's next steps include conducting a legal gap analysis, seeking capacity building support through the United Nations, and initiating the ratification process through the parliament to domesticate conventions provisions. Owen Mandova, ZBC News.
The common thread of spirituality runs deep across humanity, although it differs in different cultures. While in our This and That feature today, we take a look at the Indian community, which prides itself in traditions of faith and with sacred animals, trees, and unique forms of worship at the heart of their cultural identity.
In the heart of every culture lies a belief system that defines values, behavior, and identity. For the Indian community, spirituality is not just a ritual, but a way of life. India, home to religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism, is not apologetic for having its own beliefs and values. Among the most unique is the worship of cows, regarded as sacred and symbolic of life and sustenance. And in Hindu culture, cows are not slaughtered for food, but instead they are protected and revered, often part of religious ceremonies.
Cattle is from long time ago, from our god Krishna. It's a very sacred animal to our godhead Krishna. So it's sacred in the sense that the cow does it provides so much to humanity. If a baby is born and the mother dies, it's going to survive on milk from a cow. So basically we take it as a sacred thing, like why would you kill your own mother?
Cattle is, our side is our cow. Usually the cattle is the mother. We behave like a cow is a mother. So always cattle we are praying like a god. So cow is our god. As the cattle, you say like that, because this is our culture. Like the banana tree. Banana tree is our god tree. We pray the banana tree.
Another surprising practice is found in Keni Mata Temple in Rajasthan, where rats are revered and roam freely in the temple, believed to be reincarnated spirits, with the devotees even sharing food with them in an act of spiritual connection.
Rats, because they have various aspects of, like Ganesh. That's his favorite, as one of our goddesses we pray in the beginning of any culture. That's his favorite pet. So I think it also depends on how people take it and how they perceive it.
Others believe that while worship may vary, one thing remains constant: the search of meaning in the mystery of life.
Every animal is linked to some kind of gods and goddess, so they have their own importance. And when we see in the rural areas, so like different cattle, especially like cows and some other animals like monkeys also, they are basically worshipped, and so they become part and parcel of a very enlarged I can say society.
With religions being diversified across the world, is the saying religion is the opium of the mind justified is food for thought? Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
Well, that'll be all from the Montrose News Desk. The Sunday edition will now take a break. Returning with more news after the break. My name is Sibigele Maposa. Stay with us.
Today's life is action-packed, hectic, and full of opportunity. You're off to the next big meeting, returning home from an important business trip, or you step out of your bubble to find your next adventure. Whatever your journey, we have a solution. A car for every occasion, be it leisure or business. At Impala Car Rental, for over 15 years, we've been catering for all Zimbabweans from all walks of life, using technology to make travel smarter and more affordable. Where will your road take you? Hit the road, whenever, wherever.
The Zimbabwe Gender Commission, ZGC, has notified the Parliament of Zimbabwe of vacancies within the Commission arising from the expiry of the term of office for 6 commissioners. In accordance with Section 237 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the Committee on Standing Rules and Orders, CSRO, invited members of the public to submit nominations for possible appointment to the Commission. By the closing date, the Parliament of Zimbabwe had received a total of 121 nominations, 50 males and 71 females. The CSRO subsequently convened and shortlisted suitable candidates for consideration. Accordingly, 44 shortlisted candidates are hereby invited to attend public interviews to be conducted as per the program available on Parliament website www.palzim.gov.zw, Facebook page Parliament of Zimbabwe, X page Parliament Zim, and Parliament of Zimbabwe WhatsApp channel. The interviews will be held in Committee Room Number 1, First Floor, New Parliament Building, Mount Hamden, on Thursday, 30 October 2025. All the shortlisted candidates are advised to be seated in Committee Room Number 3, First Floor, New Parliament Building, Mount Hamden by 0700 hours. Candidates who are not seated in Committee Room Number 3 by this time will automatically be disqualified. Mobile phones and other electronic devices such as laptops must be surrendered to the Security Department upon entry into the Parliament building. Candidates are also reminded to bring valid identification documents, either a national identity card or a valid passport, for verification upon entry. Members of the public who wish to follow the interviews will be accommodated in the multi-purpose hall at the new Parliament building. In addition, other interested stakeholders may follow the proceedings live through Parliament's official social media platforms, Facebook live streaming, and X live blogging.
Parliament of Zimbabwe, a strong, independent, people-driven, world-class parliament.
The Deposit Protection Corporation, DPC, invites members of the public and institutions who may have lodged the security documents with any of the following closed banking institutions: Afrasia Bank Limited, Royal Bank Zimbabwe Limited, Trust Banking Corporation, Interfin Bank Limited, and Allied Bank Limited. Kindly visit DPC offices at number 29 Railroad in Borodale, Harare, or number 34 Lole Road, corner Leopold Takaria Avenue, suburbs in Bulawayo. Documents to be collected include but are not limited to mortgage bonds, title deeds, notarial bonds, and notarial general covering bonds (NGCBs). Kindly bring valid identification in the form of a national ID document or valid passport, a board resolution authorizing you to receive the documents in the case of companies, a letter of administration in the case of executors of deceased estates, a court order or certificate of appointment in the case of liquidators or curators of companies, and any supporting documentation that may assist in the verification and retrieval process. For more information, kindly contact us on Harare office number 0242 252 336 or 0242 250 900 up to 1. Bulawayo office 0292 231 817 or 8. WhatsApp 0716 801 310. Email claims@dpcorp.co.zw. Deposit Protection Corporation. Protecting your deposits.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Zimbabwe's Innovation Drive is taking a golden turn quite literally at the Harare Institute of Technology, where engineers have developed a homegrown enterprise resource planning system. The system is designed to simplify accounting, billing and financial management for both public and private institutions. In our Science and Tech feature, our reporter Wellington Makonese walks us through this innovation.
In the first lane of business efficiency, data is the new gold. At the Harare Institute of Technology, the gold now has a name, Ndarama. True to its meaning, Ndarama Gold is a homegrown enterprise resource planning system glittering across accounting, billing, payroll and supply chain management. Developed by local innovators at Harare Institute of Technology, the system has already found suitors, among them the Minerals Marketing Corporation of Zimbabwe and the institute itself.
ERP has got 7 basic modules, which we call the core modules, where we have your financial and accounting, which is the standard accounting system with your accounts receivable, accounts payables, with your bank rec, as well as your cash books. It also has got all the financial statements that comes with a basic ERP, your trial balance, your balance sheet, your cash books reports. So the system also has got what we call the supply chain management, which manages your procurement, whether you're a private organization or you are a parastatal. We also have HR management within the ERP, where the system manages everything about your staff. It also has got asset management, where you can track all your assets and even do depreciation within the system, and even asset movement. The basic management and maintenance of assets is also automated.
Unlike imported systems that struggle to fit Zimbabwe's economic realities, the system speaks the language of local business, built for the multi-currency economy and flexible enough for organizations, large or small.
The whole idea is trying to import substitution. Number one, as you know, Zimbabwe is under sanctions. Quite a number of organizations were unable to renew licenses on foreign systems. So with this system, you just set your base currency and then you can transact in any currency.
Beyond powering businesses, the ERP is also shaping tomorrow's tech talent as the country marches toward a digital economy. Innovations like these are redefining how institutions manage money, data performance, and human resources, proving that the nation's next big breakthrough could well be coded at home, driving digital transformation. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
That's our SNT feature for tonight. And now in Sunbiz, Zimbabwe has secured a major economic milestone by winning the bid to host the Intra-African Trade Fair on a permanent basis from 2029. The country will also benefit from a new $2 billion United States dollar agricultural export facility through the African Export-Import Bank.
Director for Trade Facilitation and the Intra-African Trade Fair at Afreximbank, Dr. Gainmo Zanamwe, announced on sidelines of the bank's investiture ceremony in Cairo, Egypt this Friday, that Zimbabwe will host the prestigious trade fair after Nigeria, marking the formal institutionalization of the event in one location and creating long-term economic benefits for the country.
For Zimbabwe, you may be aware that Zimbabwe also won the bid to host the IATF entity on a permanent basis, and after Nigeria, the next edition will be held in Zimbabwe in 2029, and this will be the key initiative that will lead to the formalization or institutionalization of IATF in one place, and we are currently working with the government of Zimbabwe to ensure that they prepare for the IATF to be hosted by government of Zimbabwe on a permanent basis.
Additionally, Afreximbank has established a $2 billion United States facility to boost Zimbabwe's agricultural exports, targeting food security and regional trade expansion through identified key farmers and processors.
There is the Export Agriculture for Food Security initiative that we started working with the Ministry of Agriculture in Zimbabwe. We are now at an advanced stage where we are trying to identify key farmers who can actually produce food and other agricultural products to be able to feed not only Zimbabwe, but to export these products to other African countries who need these products. There is a $2 billion facility that the bank has put in place. We are now calling upon all the key players who are interested in producing, processing and exporting food products to work with the bank under this facility.
Afreximbank support positions Zimbabwe as a central hub for African trade and agricultural development, leveraging the country's strategic location and agricultural potential to drive economic growth and regional integration. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Cairo.
We're now off to a break and return with Sports Buzz. Stay with us.
Vakuru vedu vemakare vaiziva kurunga zvinwiwa nezvekudya zvinobatsira kuti ugare wakagwinya. Isu veCaptain takaona zvakakosha kuti tibike Captain Ginger Wise tichishandisa zvinwiwa izvi. Gara wakagwinya neCaptain Ginger Wise. Tibatei pa 0775 135 800. Captain inhaka nesimba muchinwiwa chimwe chete.
The Republic of Zimbabwe, in partnership with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, is hosting the 8th session of the Migration Dialogue for Southern Africa, MIDSA 2025, from the 24th to the 27th of October 2025 in Victoria Falls. MIDSA 2025 is running under the theme, Promoting Regional Integration through Sustaining Safe, Regular, and Orderly Migration in the Southern African region. The dialogue comes at a pivotal moment in history where migration trends, regional integration efforts, climate change impacts, and demographic dynamics intersect to shape the future of the region. As the region prepares for the Migration Dialogue for Southern Africa MIDSA 2025 in Zimbabwe, it is crucial to reflect on these evolving dynamics and their implications for migration governance and development. MIDSA 2025 is instrumental in reinforcing a common vision among member states grounded in solidarity, shared responsibility, and regional integration. MIDSA 2025 is an opportunity for Southern Africa to reaffirm its leadership in migration governance by advancing policies that are climate resilient, youth inclusive, development oriented, and regionally coherent. MIDSA 2025 is a platform to ensure inclusive and informed participation from all SADC member states in continental and global migration governance frameworks, including those linked to the Global Compact for Migration GCM and Agenda 2063. SADC is committed to ensuring that migration is done in a safe, regular, and orderly manner. There are definitely more gains for the region that can be harnessed from well-managed migration.
If your vehicle does not have a radio, you are eligible to apply for an exemption. Here is how the process works. Step 1. Visit the nearest ZBC office to initiate your exemption application. Step 2. Bring the following documents with you: the vehicle registration book, which must be in your name, your national ID, or any form of national identification. Step 3. A ZBC inspector will accompany you for a physical inspection of the... Step 5. Your exemption will be processed and updated in the system immediately. Once that is done, you may proceed to purchase your insurance cover note and obtain your Zenara vehicle license as usual. Be compliant. Stay informed. T's and C's apply.
Whether you run a hotel, lodge, or guest house, keep your guests entertained and coming back for more with DSTV for Business. Our DSTV stay package options match your needs and budget. Make your visitor's stay unforgettable with the best channels for sport, blockbuster movies and series, kids inspiration, lifestyle, documentaries, news, and more. Contact us today and let your guests experience your business at its best with DSTV for Business.
Welcome back. In sport, Dynamos booked their spot in the Chibuku Super Cup final after overcoming Highlanders 5-3 in a penalty shootout at Rufaro Stadium this Sunday.
The tension was palpable as Dynamos midfielder Abel Gwatidzo made his way to the ball, facing Highlanders goalkeeper Ariel Sibanda. The crowd held its collective breath, all eyes fixed on the decider. The silence was deafening, but Gwatidzo was unfazed. With a confident stride, he dispatched. The Glamour Boys fans erupted in jubilation as Gwatidzo scored the winning penalty, sending the team into the Chibuku Super Cup final. Gwatidzo, the hero of the hour, was calm and composed as he stepped up to take the decisive sport gig.
last penalty. Saka patongonzi ndo pene kupedzisira rozoti hazvisi nyore kutora last penalty.
The game had initially raised hopes for Dynamos in the 16th minute when Emmanuel July found the back of the net. However, Highlanders refused to give up and the equalizer sent the game to penalties. Dynamos will now face a triangle in the final, with the defending champions poised to clinch a third consecutive Chibuku Super Cup title. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Defending champions Orientals Queens are living up to their billing, maintaining a 4-point lead at the summit of the Women's Premier Soccer League after match day 27.
A 2-0 win over consecutive title with a total of 62 points. Their focus and determination have been evident throughout the season, and they are now poised to make history and retain their title. In other matches, second place, the win has boosted their chances of claiming the top spot, and they will be looking to capitalize on any slip-ups by Orientals in the remaining matches. Meanwhile, Platinum Royals amid lightweight of struggling Red Buffaloes winning 8-0. In a closely contested match, Quaker Queens urged Cranbourne Royals 1-0, a result that has seen them breathing a sigh of relief in their fight for safety. Correctional Queens handed Popoma Sports Academy a 3-1 defeat. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe's under-23 baseball team is finalizing preparations for the World Cup qualifiers scheduled for this week in South Africa. The team, which has been in camp since Friday, is hoping to secure a spot at the 2026 Baseball World Cup.
Cup qualifiers in South Africa, Zimbabwe's national team is fine-tuning skills, building chemistry and sharpening focus, although financial challenges are threatening the realization of their dreams. The team, however, is upbeat of qualifying for Nicaragua.
This group, there's a big point because they are coming in from a long history. They've been together since under 16, under 18. So now this is the under 23, and it's also being made of the same players that were under 16, under 18, under 23. So the bonding is there, and also these camps all the camps help us at least to polish up.
The 2026 World Cup.
My games are about to 29, so travel 28
The national team sees the tournament as an opportunity to showcase Zimbabwean baseball on the global stage. Reynold, what?
Whether you run a hotel, lodge, or guest house, keep your guests entertained and coming back for more with DSTV for Business. Our DSTV stay package options match your needs and budget. Make your visitor stay unforgettable with the best channels for sport, blockbuster movies and series, kids inspiration, lifestyle, documentaries, news, and more. Contact us today and let your guests experience your business at its best with DSTV for Business.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Life can sometimes seem like it's on pause, each day blending into the next. You're left wondering when the excitement will return, when the adventure will begin. That first sip awakens the wild rivers within, where every moment is an opportunity to explore, discover, to live. Welcome to the world of Zambezi Lager, where the mighty Zambezi flows and greatness abounds. For the Zambezians, it's all about good friends, great moments, and the taste of adventure. Step into the captivating world of Zambezi Lager, where every taste is a journey and every moment shared is filled with the heartfelt pride of Zimbabwe. Zambezi Lager, for those who seek adventure, who cherish the journey, and who know that life's greatest moments are shared.
Today's life is action-packed, hectic, and full of opportunity. You're off to the next big meeting, returning home from an important business trip, or you step out of your bubble to find your next adventure. Whatever your journey, we have a solution. A car for every occasion, be it leisure or business. At Impala Car Rental, for over 15 years, we've been catering for all Zimbabweans from all walks of life, using technology to make travel smarter and more affordable. Where will your road take you? Hit the road, whenever, wherever.
Welcome back. The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation quest to bridge the information gap was on display this weekend after one of its popular radio stations, Radio Zimbabwe, held a roadshow in the border area of Manama in Gwanda South.
It was an emotional weekend for radio listeners in the borderline area of Manama in Gwanda South, as they had an opportunity to see their Radio Zimbabwe celebrity presenters.
abanye abafana olibhathi labo bazo bekhuluma ngoba nilalela iradio sonke isikhathi bekhuluma izinto ezinenginengi.
Innovation
go ta ga nena mo re a leboga mme ba ne re sa ba tsebe re utlwa maina a bona lebogile ka mata gore re tšhakelwe ke batho ba zimora le batho ba ZBC gore ba te ba tsene mo manama re tere re iphine le bona re rutile dilo tse bintsi mo teng gare ga bona re a iphina ka mata.
The Radio Zimbabwe Roadshow, which brought more than 10 organizations, bridges the information gap that exists between unserviced borderline areas and the nation at large.
Thina njengomsakazi weRadio Zimbabwe saziwa kakhulu ngegama lokuthi ngumsakazo wabantu. So abantu lapha abatholakala khona yikho thola khona ke umsakazo weRadio Zimbabwe. Sizakhumbula ukubana uhulumende wethu ukhuluma ngayo indaba nalo ukuthi kungabi le ndawo kumbe lo muntu osalayo. Kungakho ke ungabuza abantu abaningi bazawutshela ukuthi ngapha emanama iRadio Zimbabwe ingaza kifike. Yikho sikhetha ubana thina njengomsakazi weRadio Zimbabwe ngapha sifike sigcwalisa futhi njalo umbono kahulumende.
Siyathokoza ukuthi lamhlanje umsakazo wesizwe eRadio Zimbabwe ulapha ngaphansi kombuso we-Second Republic nanzelelwa ukuthi khonena kule information gap ekhona kulumango ukwenza abantu bengatholi ulwazi oludingakalayo.
ZBC radio stations continue to command large following as evidenced by the huge attendance at the Radio Zimbabwe Roadshow in Manama. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
That's all we had for you tonight. Thank you for giving us your time. From all of us here, good night.
Good night.